Hello again, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where you are in the world. And Francisco, hola, I see you.
Hola, Jorge. I see you too. How are you doing? You're looking good today.
Thank you so much. I'm doing fine. Yeah, nothing spectacular is going on, nothing really bad is going on. Just a regular, normal, boring life, Boring life
Oh,
because we are not working right now. Boring in the sense of, okay, office, recording the program,
yes.
which is not boring at all. It's a lot of fun, but I mean, it's just a routine right now. And into that routine in our podcast, what is coming now?
Some music?
Yes, right. There we go.
Jorge, what is going
Yes.
to be today's topic?
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. ETA. ETA. Does it sound familiar to you?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. Let me give a sip of my coffee here. Well, guys out there, ETA for the younger generations probably doesn't mean anything at all. For people of our generation, Francisco and I, baby boomers, especially in Spain and in Europe, of course, it's a very sad thing. It's a very controversial at the same time because it involves um, terror attacks, involves politics, involves dictatorship and transition, political transition, and also the life in democracy times in Spain. Very young democracy. We're going to focus more or less in the 80s and 90s and very first decade of the 2000 as well. And Francisco, I'm pretty sure you are only a little bit younger than me. Okay, but
Just a little.
just a little. But I know that you have more rooted memories about it. I can tell you, it really makes me angry about to talk about it, but it's part of the past of this country, and luckily we can say now of the past of this country. Well, ETA is a terrorist band that emerged in the maybe 1950s, 60s. It has different origins that it developed later on into, especially when acting once they got out of what today is called the Basque Country. The Basque Country, to our listeners here, it is a region of Spain, one of those 17 regions that compose now the map of Spain. But the Basque culture, it includes French territory in the southwest of France, also what today is the entire province of Navarra, where you, Francisco, are from, and also the three other provinces that is what is legally named today as the Basque Country. So it's a vast territory, and it drove us crazy during the transition, even before the transition, because I do believe when they got internationally known is when they killed the prime minister of Spain under Franco. The prime minister wasn't elected by the people; it was designated by Franco. Okay,
Was
and his
finger
name
pointed
was,
by Franco.
sorry, say what?
Was finger pointed by Franco.
Correct. That's right. Yeah, that's the precise definition of it. Thank you. So it was, I think it was in December, just before Christmas, December 1973, when they found out that a group of men, they rented a basement in a building here in Madrid, in central Madrid, and for months they were digging a tunnel to reach the center of a street in between the two blocks. It's in an area where it's a grid, okay? And apparently, no radio system in those days, especially in Spain. They threw a wire on the street very close to where the step of the side is, and it was almost like a kilometer long. And they activated that by distance in that way. The moment the car was passing above the bomb, they killed the that person, Carlos Arias Navarro, was his name, and that was the real.
No, no, sorry. It was Carrero Blanco.
You're right. Carlos Arias
Carrero Blanco.
Navarro was the president after him.
There we go. There we go.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah. You know, it's yeah, it drives me a little bit crazy
Yeah, I mean,
about
it's
this.
a moment in our history that it hurts to talk
Yeah,
about.
it hurts very much.
Yeah.
That's right. It was Carrero Blanco. That's right. And well, the ironic part about that is that it's 3 blocks away from the United States Embassy.
Okay, I didn't know it was that close.
Oh yeah. 3 blocks away, and no one knew anything about it. So that was the big thing that they made, okay, to be known internationally, that there was a Basque terrorist groups of Basque people trying to find independence. During the 80s, it was a nightmare for Spain, and even the 90s as well, and some years of the very first decade of the 2000s. Finally, they decided to go politically. I don't want to compare it with anything else. I mean, we know the IRA in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, okay? But that has another, not only political, but also religious connotations as well, the IRA. Here it was a totally different scenario. But just to give you an idea, but Francisco, you living there and you being born in 1971, was it?
75.
75.
No, 71, 71. I was taking some years
Oh,
out of
guys,
myself.
now you know that publicly he tried to be
I
four
tried to
years
lie. No, I was
younger.
born 71. What was I thinking about?
No,
I
but
was,
yeah, I mean, you probably have, you were very young, but I'm pretty sure you remember not so good memories of that period in Spain, right?
well, here, this is part of the fight where I come from. It's Navarra, as you said. It's not part of the Basque Country. It is the place where the Basque culture, the origin of the Basque culture took place. So for this terrorist band, it was the the place to organize and fight and everything. So we lived that period in horror. It was, oh, how could I explain? It was really, really, really bad. But why don't we start from the very beginning? Why
Yes,
don't we
please.
start?
Yeah,
We when we talk about politics in Spain, we always have to go back to Franco. Right?
yeah.
When Franco took power in 1939, he hated anything that was not Spanish. That's why he hated Catalans and he especially hated Basques.
Basques, yeah.
Strangely enough, both areas, Catalonia and the Basque Country, were the most industrialized areas, economically the wealthiest part of Spain
Mm-hmm.
back then.
Yep, yep.
So he he punished us, and he was like strong and horrible. And if you would speak Basque on the street, they would shoot you, no questions asked. So
Wow.
it was, we're talking since 1939, it was a total repression of our existence. We could not be what we are. And from hate only comes out hate.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Absolutely.
ETA. By the way, ETA stands for Euskaditas Katasuna, which means homeland and freedom. It started in 1958. Right? It is
Late
the
80s, late 50s, sorry.
late 50s. Is when
Yeah.
they started. And they started as a cultural young association. It was more pro the values of Basque culture. Let's try to not put it down. We're not bad people. We can do this.
But
That's
I
why
assume it started in clandestinity.
it started in clandestinity. Yes and no, because they started. Yes, the origin was totally undercover, but it was more a movement, a cultural movement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why
Okay.
if you see that some of the first demonstrations that they were held by ETA on the streets, you're going to see a lot of priests because they
What?
were priests, and especially Jesuits. St. Ignatius, the founding father of the Jesuits, he was Basque. So
Oh,
for the
right. Oh,
Jesuits,
wow.
this cause of
That's
being
confusing.
Basque, it was very important. So they demonstrated with ETA.
Uh-huh.
So this is 1958. in 1961, a couple of years later, it's when they tried to have terrorist attack. It failed. Okay, it didn't go on, and this was a moment where, what's going on here? We don't. No, 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 no. We are a cultural movement. We are not a violent movement. And this ETA, let's say that got like three different wings or three different legs. One, it was the cultural part, the original thing. The second was more oriented to people, to
Hmm.
jobs, and to try to get people into it. And the third one, the difficult one, it was the violent one. Okay. The violent one killed the very first person in 1968, 10 years after they were created.
That
They,
early.
recogni- they recognized it as a mistake. It was a police officer who stopped a car, the kids had a gun, and they killed him. So it was an accident. At the It was mid June, okay, 68. At the end of the year, these two kids who killed the guy, they were preparing their very first terrorist attack that took place in 1968 in August. Right? So that is the beginning of the moment. It's the moment when everybody was like, okay, you're not anymore saying that we're going to do something, you are killing.
It sounds to me like a sect,
It
because
was like a sect. It
because
became inside of,
yeah, because you just said something that they were young kids, so they were
yeah,
recruiting people from a very early age.
yeah, very young kids,
Yeah.
kids that had only lived the repression of Franco.
Any thoughts that if those kids they were what kind of backgrounds they had? Were rural backgrounds? Were they
No, it was more in the industry, okay? Wherever
so
there was industry, industrialists,
kind of
industrial
middle
factories.
class families?
Yes, middle class kids with
Yeah.
education,
Yeah.
okay, but middle class families, kids that they're gonna go work for a big factory, people who are disenchanted, people who are like, what is this? That was their target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Uh, some of those Jesuit priests that started at the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
some of them broke and said, no, this is not, no, we started as a cultural thing out. But some priests, they said, no, we believe, we understand the violence, we need violence. And the Jesuits said, no, you have to get out of the Jesuits if you're going to follow a terrorist attack, a band. So
Whoa.
some of the most important leaders of the original ETA, they were ex-Jesuits.
So they were expelled out of the orders.
Yes, they were expelled out of the order. It was like, you have to choose. I mean, you cannot be a priest and kill. And it's like, come on, this is the
Yeah.
20th century.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this, moment of by 1970, it breaks. And now it's when we have, on one side, the cultural thing, which is culture.
And
And
still and still called ETA, the cultural
no,
part?
it changed names and it got its own route.
Path
Okay.
and okay, perfect.
Couple the thing is that the other two, they got together. The
Mm-hmm.
violent part and the workers, young people, that was the conglomerate of ETA. And they established, when you made a little comparison about IRA, that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much what they copy. Okay. IRA, we have, yes, the fundamentals are different things. Okay. One is religion, ours was for repression. But
Yeah.
the way they organized, it was very similar. We have a terrorist band, we have a political party, and we have a labor union. At that time, there was no political party because it was a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have the labor union, very, very strong, and the terrorist band.
But
Right?
labor unions were also forbidden, well, Franco.
They were forbidden, but they were, I don't want to say labor unions, you're right.
Maybe
They
some kind of
were
association working in the shade.
working associations. There we go.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
once in democracy,
Yeah.
they became labor unions. So
Okay.
this is the 1970. 1970 is the key year. 3 years later is when they become famous. When they say, we're here to disrupt. When they killed Carrero Blanco,
Yeah.
okay? That terrorist attack that they did.
You
So
know, Francisco, sorry to interrupt you. You remember the car he
yeah,
was going
it
in?
flew like over the building. It
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
but I mean the car. It was one of those cars that they are bomb-proofed and bulletproof and everything. It was a Dodge cart.
it's a
Cars.
Dodge.
Dodge. Yeah.
Fun fact from Jorge.
Okay.
You even have fun facts in here? Come on.
It was a Dodge Dart. Yeah, that was the model, especially made for the Spanish president at the time. Yeah.
Anyway, so the thing is that
Mm,
then it came 1975 and Franco died. Okay.
mhm.
Franco died in December. 3 months,
November.
no, oh, sorry, November. 2 months before, in September, it was the last executions, public executions made by Franco in September
Oh, that's right. I
1975.
totally forgot about that. Oh,
So
yeah. It was
that in
it was an international scandal.
it was horrible. It was like,
Yeah.
damn, this old guy is still into it.
Yeah.
And Franco killed 5 kids, 2 of them members of ETA.
Ooh.
That, let's say, gave
Ooh.
them the
Trigger.
the trigger. There we go. It was the trigger to ETA to go wild.
Mm.
And suddenly Franco dies, and Spain is going to do the Spanish transition. Our democracy was, how could I say, first baby steps. We're very weak. We're learning how to deal, how to bring the communists, how to bring the socialists, how to tell the right wing, hey, be quiet. So it was a very, very convulsive moment. Okay. Uh, I I don't know how you remember those years. There were demonstrations every day.
I
I
do
remember
remember.
coming
I do
running
remember.
from school home because there was a demonstration at the end of the street, and you know that the police are going to charge against the demonstrators. So it was like, oh, I remember running, my mom freaking out. If we were like 5 minutes late from school, it's like, where are the kids? It's like, what's going it was like, especially here in Pamplona, such a small town.
Yeah.
It was insane. Really, 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 really complicated. Uh, the attempt coup d'etat, 1981. Okay. We had
1981, yet February 23rd. We have a
February,
podcast about
we
that.
have a podcast about this coup d'etat. I
Yeah.
remember perfectly. I mean, I remember
That you were
because
in
where I was,
school and you.
I was in English class. I was in an English class and
Yeah,
we
I
just
remember
get home.
that. Yeah.
And I remember that when we ran home,
Yeah.
my neighbors, door to door, that we would play in each houses every day. The parents came and they gave my parents, here are the keys of our house. We have to go.
Yeah, I
We have
remember
to go
that. I
because
remember you mentioning that, and it was so sad.
they
Yeah.
were socialists, and especially one of the kids was a member of ETA. That I found out later. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the moment, 1980s is when ETA is strong. And they become very strong. What they want is Basque freedom and Basque independence and Basque this and Basque that. To make it, like this is what we want, they made to me the most terrifying terrorist attack in 1987, which was the
Oh yeah.
Hipercor in Barcelona.
Yeah, supermarket.
It was a supermarket. Imagine, to our listeners, a bomb on a busy day in Casco. The chaos.
And I
Eh,
mean, Costco, you have the parking at the same level outside
yeah,
normally.
outside,
This one was underground, the
underground.
parking.
And they put a huge bomb. 21 people died. It was civilians. It was mothers with kids going to the supermarket to go do the grocery shopping. It was like, what the hell is. So that empowered them to say, we can do whatever we want. There was a lot of kidnapping. There was a
Hmm.
moment when they started kidnapping people, and all of this kidnapping was okay. If you don't want me to kill your dad, you have to give me this much money.
You
It
know,
was
remember one of the celebrities that they
it
were
was
kidnapped?
it was Julio Iglesias' dad,
That's right.
Doctor Iglesias.
Yeah,
So
Julio
this is the moment when
Iglesias.
Julio Iglesias is one of the wealthiest men in Spain, famous and all this,
Yeah,
and his father was kidnapped.
yeah.
And to me, they always said, the politicians and everybody, if you are kidnapped, you should never negotiate with the terrorists. You should follow the father of Julio Iglesias, got free very easy, which means that obviously Julio Iglesias paid.
Yeah.
And to me, especially now as a father, I'm sorry. It's my dad, it's my kids. It's like, I'm going to do it. It
Hmm.
was horrible. Here in the Basque Country and Navarra, they had one thing that was called impuesto revolucionario,
Oof.
revolutionary taxes.
Tax. Yeah. Oh,
So what was this? What this was is they would go, if you have a tiny little business,
yeah.
small shop or whatever, they would come to your shop and say, like the mafia, you have to pay me every month 2,000 euros. We're talking pesetas, okay? But
Yeah.
imagine 2,000 euros every month and you'll have no problems. That it was horrible. Back then, my parents, they had a couple of retail shops, and the fear of receiving that card, that
Did they ever get any?
no, they never got it.
Oof.
We were so lucky. We were,
Yeah.
because it was, you had to pay them. I mean, and it was extortion. It was fear. It was horror. I have a friend who works. He's retired now, for the tax department here in the Basque Country,
Hmm.
and there is a rule now that we're in democracy and it's all free about it. If they go to one of the companies in the Basque Country or Navarra, and during these years, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, if they have cash being taken out without tickets, without invoices, means that these people, they were paying these revolutionary taxes, and
Okay.
that cannot be inspected by the IRA, no, IRS, the Spanish
Wow.
tax department.
Really?
Because imagine now, how can you tell a young tax inspector who has not suffered the terrorist fear that we had, no, I was paying this so they would not kill my kids. Yeah, sure. Where's the ticket? You don't get a ticket from ETA, for God's sakes. So that part today, it is totally, let's forget about that one. Okay, we don't care what.
Hmm.
So there was, that is the way these ETA, they got money,
Yeah,
extortion.
that's
They became,
the only way to finance themselves. Yeah.
the things that they became mafia, a total mafia. I mean, it was horrible. And all around Spain, everybody, now as a grown up, when I was a kid, I didn't understand. Everybody around Spain would hate Basque people. Everybody would hate us because they thought we were all terrorists. The thing is that we were so afraid. We could not
Mm.
talk about it. We
Yeah.
could not, you would not say, I hate ETA, because you know you're going to get yourself in trouble. So everybody, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was,
Hmm.
young and just for partying, and you would not talk about politics, you would not talk about this, you would not demonstrate. It was like, no, I know the rules, the
You,
unwritten rules.
you know, Francisco, I have suffered that the opposite way. Before, well, I'm a tour guide since 1997. Before that, since I arrived to Madrid in 1990, I had, as you well know, some retail shops,
Hmm.
ladies wear, and I used to have customers all over Spain because I have a wholesale uh, place. Okay, there were a few factories working for me for my designs, etc., etc. So I had customers in the Basque Country, and now and again I had to go and show my products to some shops to see if they could buy my collections or part of my whatever I was doing.
Hmm.
And I had to be very careful where and to whom to say I was based. In many places, the moment I said I live in Madrid and my store wholesaler is in Madrid, they would say to me directly, "Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Good luck with
Sorry,
it."
but I can't.
There were some others that they didn't care about it. So I opt for saying I was from Malaga and living for my company that was in Madrid. And you have no idea how much that changed. That's when I felt that the Basque Country, I'm saying this because geographically it's
Yeah,
almost like a
it's
triangle, right?
mhm.
That's how I felt that feeling from Basque, I'm not going to say all, but in general, Basque Country, that feeling against Madrid, the capital of the nation.
Of the country.
But if I was
Mhm.
saying I was from Malaga, it was like if I was saying I was
Okay.
from another place, from Valencia or from anywhere else, from Cordoba. Okay, that totally changed.
Yeah.
And so I totally understand that when you're saying that, that's, yeah, I remember in those days that it was creating like a anti-Basque kind of silent movement all around the rest of the country because the only voice or things that we could hear from the Basque country was ETA.
There we go. And
Yeah.
to me now I understand it. Back then it hurt me so much. I was like, how come everybody hates us? We people didn't understand that the larger amount of people who was killed, it was Basque people. The larger amount of people who was kidnapped, it was from the Basque country. The larger amount of people who was extortion with these revolutionary taxes, it was us. We hated them so much. It was like, but you're so afraid of saying anything. You couldn't.
Wasn't a time in their last stages that they started to go all over the country?
Yes. At the end, there was they wanted more. I mean, they became a mafia, so they wanted more and more and more and more money, and they wanted this, and they wanted to
Mm-hmm.
go to tribunals in Europe, so they needed more money. So they would extortion people everywhere around
Mm-hmm.
Spain. It was like horrible.
You remember in the podcast that we have mentioning that I think I'm alive because that day I got out of my home like about 10, 15 seconds earlier because a bomb exploded in front of me
Yeah.
in Madrid. Okay.
No, there were bombs everywhere around
Everywhere.
Spain.
Yeah.
It was Madrid, in Barcelona, in Sevilla, in
Everywhere. And especially
everywhere,
in touristic
everywhere.
areas as well,
Yes.
just to try to make it international. Yeah.
No, they unfortunately they did a great job extortioning and creating chaos. There was so much stress, and you would be at home and you could hear the explosion of a bomb 5 blocks away from my
Mm-hmm.
home. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it was horrible. And we were fed up, we were horrified, but we were too afraid to say anything until
I bet you were.
July 13th, 1997. On July 13th, 1997 is when ETA kidnapped a
Oh, yes.
young
Oh,
politician for a
yeah.
small little town called Ermua, a
Mm.
small town where we're talking 500 people. So today you're the mayor. Next election you are going to be secretary. Next, so it was just a normal kid who happened to became a
Oh,
politician in that little town.
in that little town. You're talking about Miguel Angel Blanco, right?
Miguel Angel Blanco. There we go. The thing is that they kidnapped Miguel Angel Blanco and they said, okay, Spanish government, we want all the Basque prisoners to be moved or released to Basque country, whatever they wanted. If not, on July 13th, we'll kill him. I This is during the week of the running of the bulls. Okay, in Pamplona, it's the
Well,
most.
oh yeah,
It
that's
was July
right.
13th.
Oh my goodness.
So it was, it's a city which is fun and it's action and it's everything going on. But there was
How
that.
was your personal memory of that of those
To my
days?
personal memory,
Yeah.
I was uh, there was a cloud in the city. There was something that you could not see, but you could feel it. It was
Yeah.
something weird.
Yeah.
And I was with Ainhoa back then. We were dating already, 1997. And when suddenly we heard the news,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like they have shotgun. Before it was just it was a politician. It was um, police officers. It was a bomb. Now, in this case, they put the date of the death of a person on the table. That
That
on
that
July
that
14th,
that countdown must have
that,
been
that
terrifying.
countdown was horrible. It was they said it's gonna be, I think it was like 8 o'clock in the afternoon, and they found him dead like at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, yeah.
That night, the whole city stopped. The whole city of Pamplona was like, no music, no party. We all suddenly, that gave us the right to say enough, 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 enough. And I remember there was not a feeling of joy. There was not a feeling of party. So in the Rhino of the Bulls, what we do is we put a bandana around our
Hmm.
necks.
Yeah.
It was wearing that. It it felt very heavy. It was like, no, this is the. So I don't know how we all took our bandanas out and we went to the church of San Fermin to put it there. And there were thousands and thousands and thousands of bandanas and candles in there. And the festivity was suspended because there was no way we could go on with that. But that gesture, I guess it helped the rest of Spain realize that as the Basque people, we could not take it any longer. We needed support. We needed support from the whole country. And it's when the White Hands movement started.
Okay.
It,
Yeah.
it was the movement that said we would paint our hands in white and
Hmm.
say,
Yeah.
enough, enough, enough. You're not representing Basque people. You're not representing anything. And it became everywhere around Spain, you would have white hands.
Yes, I remember those days, and it was really moving all
It
over. Yeah.
was, to me,
I went to the demonstration here in Madrid, you know. The
here we
only
had,
demonstration, the only political demonstration I've gone in all my life, it
it
was that
was
one.
that one.
Yeah.
It
And
was,
that kid, Miguel Angel Blanco, listen, if you are in a democracy, you have to accept what people are elected, right? And it happened at, I think it was just a mere coincidence that he was right wing, Partido Popular at the time, that it was at the time, it was the right wing who was ruling the entire country. So I guess that there was a succession of chains there that they were all connected.
and to me, the reaction of the citizens of Spain, there was no right wing or left wing. It
No,
was
no, no.
like
It's just
enough.
yeah,
It
enough.
was like
Yeah,
that.
satisfying. Yeah.
So for us, the Basque people, it was a moment to say enough. It was a moment to start fighting back, and not fighting back because we couldn't, because they had the weapons. But it was the moment when a lot of people who were not against it, but they were not pro it, they said, we're against it. We cannot follow it. There was beautiful movements of some of the most important artists in the Basque Country, Chillida and Oteiza,
Hmm. Hmm.
saying, this is not Basque people. This is not Basque people. These are terrorists. Some of our amazing journalists, Basque journalists, TV presenters saying, I'm Basque, I'm proud to be Basque, and these people do not represent me. It was a moment of enough. And from that point on, they came down and down and down. Yes, in 2010, they kept on killing some little by little going down. And in 2010, it was the last terrorist attack. It was the last person who they killed.
Well, was it that late?
Yeah, it
2010.
was that late. It was 2010.
Oh, I thought it was earlier.
2010.
Wow. Who was
And
the
the thing is
person?
that no, it was no, we don't want ETA. No, no, we don't take it. We don't take it.
Was he a politician who killed, or
He
was
was a
it?
politician. I think he was a politician. Yes.
Right.
And then is when they start playing, oh no, we're not killing anymore, but we're not going to give you the weapons back just in case. We don't. By 2017 is when they return all the weapons. And 2018, which is yesterday, is like 7 years ago, is when ETA was dissolved. Okay? And it was dissolved after 850 innocent people being killed, almost 3,000 people being injured, over 100 people being kidnapped. those numbers to me give me goosebumps because it is our childhood. That's what we left, what we lived. It was a moment of every day there was dead people. Every day there was uh, somebody being kidnapped. There was so really ETA has done so much bad to us. And
it just coming to my mind right now. That's a famous lady that she was from a town in Catalonia, a lot, that she worked in a pharmacy. She owned a pharmacy, and she was kidnapped almost a year.
mhm.
And also that other, he was a worker in a prison, sorry, that he was almost kidnapped for about 8 months or
he
9 months.
he was kidnapped 500 days,
500 days.
a year and a half.
Oh my
I
God.
mean,
Oh God. Yeah.
and so it was. It was a really, really, really difficult times, really difficult years, and thank God now violence is out of the way. People has realized that the Basque Country and Navarra are beautiful areas in the world
Oh,
where
absolutely. I
nature it's
totally agree.
breathtaking.
Yeah.
Food is incredible. We have great wines, great spirits. So now people have realized that hey, you can be Basque and my culture. It's incredibly beautiful. I love my culture, but we do not support violence anymore. I mean, it's like a no violence. It's out of the question.
Well, in fact, you
You
have never supported, when I say you, I mean the Basque, the big majority of the Basque population have never supported that. The only thing is that because the others, they were a very small bunch of people, they were making a lot of noise.
and a lot of noise, and they could kill you. So they
Yeah.
would be like,
Yeah.
nope.
That is, that's what I call by a lot of
Yeah.
noise. It's just, uh,
So now it's a great place to visit, a great place to live. I am very happy living here in Pamplona. And yes, there's still controversy. Are we Basque? Are we not Basque? This and that. And separatism movements are still strong. But those, let's say it's more civilized. It's just people don't kill about it. Okay.
they don't get,
And my
they don't.
personal opinion is my personal opinion, and your personal opinion is your personal opinion. If
Hmm.
you want to be in or out of Spain, in or out of Europe, that has nothing to do with killing people, which is to me a healthy conversation in democracy, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
which is what we should have and what we have now. So I'm very happy that ETA is gone and we don't have to not be
Although the descendants of that association, to give it another name,
February's
now
band.
now they are playing politics.
Yes, they had created, as we said, the a political party.
Hmm.
And yes, they're into politics, obviously separatist politics, right? They believe in separatism. And strangely enough, we do have a separatist movement right wing and a separatist movement left wing, which is like, what? It's kind of strange. But it is what we have here in the Basque Country. We're complicated. Here in Navarra, the Basque Country, we're complicated. It's not an easy situation, all of these things. And as we said from the beginning, hate only brings hate. So
Hmm.
let's
I
hope
agree.
that love only brings love.
Love.
And let's
Mm.
bring everybody together. Let's try to have communities together. Let's try to share our love for our country, our traditions. That's one of the reasons why Jorge and I were doing this podcast is to share with all of you the love we have for our country.
And
And
I testify in the name of Frank and myself and all the Basque people out there that Basque Country, Navarra, and the French Basque Country, guys, if you ever have the opportunity to go there, God,
it's
that's gonna be incredible, absolutely fantastic. You are never going to experience gastronomy the way it's enjoyed there. You are never going to see the landscaping around there, the Pyrenees. Oh my goodness, the Bay of Biscay, the traditions, the Basque tradition, the Basque culture. That, by the way, oh, it can be done in your tour, Francisco. In the
yes, the
yeah,
Basque staycation.
yeah, that's right. You
Is
have the
that
bus staycation and also the one that ends in Santiago, but you also start.
we start in? that one, the Camino de Santiago, is not center the Basque culture,
But
but
you,
you're right. I mean, thanks for bringing that up.
yeah.
In the Basque education, what we do is we rent a house in the
Hmm.
Pyrenees. Sometimes it's in the Pyrenees, sometimes by the coast, the Basque coast, and we spend one whole week doing
Hmm.
side trips, discovering our fishing traditions, our shepherding traditions, our language, our dancing, our food. So yeah, we get to see a lot of things.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough, and I have no words, enough words to thank Francisco. The places that you are visiting there. I mean, to me, it was just breathtaking. Francisco knows corners hidden in the Pyrenees, that just behind a tree, you find a valley with a little lake there. It's like if you're in a fairy tale, and it's just magnificent and wonderful. And obviously, it's his homeland, so he knows absolutely everything. So, yeah. Well, Francisco, that was a very uh, hard
Heavy
topic.
topic.
Yeah, I had to talk
I'm
about.
exhausted now. I'm like, oh.
God. Yeah, and bringing back all these memories. And oh, talking about bringing back memories, guys, in season 2, episode 58,
Okay.
that chapter is called Memories of Our Childhood. And that's where Francisco and we talk a little bit more extensive about some moments of what we have talked about today briefly. Okay. And if you want to extend a little bit more about what was happening in our childhood years, you know, that could be a good
That could be.
complement to this chapter. So to remember is this season 2, episode 58, Memories of a Childhood. Okay.
Thank you for that, Jorge.
You're welcome,
And
Francisco.
what else?
Thank
Well, to
you.
our
Yeah.
listeners,
If you have
if
anything
they
else to say.
are listening to us in any platform, YouTube, Spotify, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, share
Please
it.
do, yes.
We love you for that. He's like, you're the best.
And if you've been in the Basque Country, please share some photos with us. You
Yes,
know,
we would love to see some photos.
SpanishLoops@gmail.com. If you want to see the tour that Francisco is offering, that's staycation. His webpage is travelingsteps.es. And there you can see his adventures and here and there, what he's doing, what he's not doing. Not obviously not everything, okay,
But
but the essential thing that you need to know about that. Francisco, I know that for you is hasn't been a nice cup of tea about talking about this topic today, but it is something that, if we share some of the things that happen in a country like Spain, that's supposed to be, you know, uh, still, under my opinion, getting out of that dark period of Franco dictatorship. And that has much to do with it as well, obviously, that episode. I know that that cup of tea probably is being a little bit hard to swallow.
just follow.
Yeah,
Well, it touches way too close. And
yeah,
well,
not to
I
forget
hope
it.
people understands a little bit of the origins of ETA now and how
Yeah,
crazy it was and how proud we are
yeah.
that we are through it. So
Hmm.
that's all we wanted to talk about.
That's everything about this week. Francisco, thank you very much indeed for your input in this topic. And we will see you all next week.
Jorge, thank you
Bye.
so much. Have a wonderful week. We love you all. Have a wonderful week. Adios, amigos.
Ciao. And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast. No spaces altogether. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.